Shaquille O'Neal recently gave an interview talking very highly about Kevin Durant coming to the Houston Rockets. As we're going to give you the details of what he said in that interview, as well as one area in which acquiring Kevin Durant is a downside in terms of this Houston Rockets roster. And we're going to get all into that right here on this episode of Rockets Digest. Hello, friends. Welcome in. Glad to have you joining us once again. If you are not yet subscribed to this channel, what are you waiting for? This is a channel for Rockets fans by Rockets fans. We're going to keep you updated all offseason long, as well as heading into the regular season next year, what should be a fantastic regular season, as many analysts are pretty much saying, including Shaquille O'Neal, who recently gave his thoughts about the Houston Rockets, acquiring KD and what that does for the team. As I'm going to take you already to the quote that he had for us in this interview, saying, quote, "Definitely got a closer, but they play with intensity. They play good defense. Should get them higher towards the top. I know they let go of Jalen Green. He carried them last year, but KD is a more consistent Jalen Green. Jalen Green was too up and down for them to get to the next level. But listen, if KD's healthy, shooting the ball well, they can make some noise." And this quote pretty much sums up what I'm going to be talking about in this video. And that's going to be KD and his effectiveness shooting, Jalen Green, as well as how well they can do next season if KD is healthy. Now, the first thing we're going to talk about is Kevin Durant and his ability to shoot on that basketball court, as he has this shot chart that is truly remarkable when you look at it. He is going into year 18, and last year shot 57% from two and 43% from three. And if you take a look at these numbers, these are his shooting percentages at different spots on the court. As you see at the top of the key, the corners, right there in the middle is the free throw line, and right below the basket. Top of the key, 40%. To the left side, 47%. To the right side, I believe that's 52. Can't really see because it's kind of small. 52%. But if you look below that, you see the league average. That LA is the league average, so that is him compared to his NBA counterparts. And as you can see, he is doing remarkably well compared to all of them. There's a significant percentage difference when you compare those two numbers. And to think that KD is doing this, these absolutely phenomenal numbers in year 18 is insane. It really is insane. And it just speaks to the eliteness of a player like Kevin Durant and what he brings to this team next season. I want to take you to a quote that really is just remarkable. Alec Elijah from Sports Illustrated pointed this out in his recent article, saying, quote, "Since his rookie campaign, Durant has yet to have a season under a 25-point per game average, having the longest streak of anyone in the league that is not LeBron James. He shot over 40% behind the three-point line the past two seasons, giving Houston an immediate boost in a category that they ranked below par in last season for a highly rated C." And that is one of the huge advantages of bringing in Kevin Durant. Yes, you give up Dylan Brooks. Yes, you give up Jalen Green in that 10th overall draft pick, as well as some second-round picks, which, quite frankly, you can have them. But at the same time, you bring in KD, who's one of the best scorers of all time, but also one of the best shooters of all time, and who has done very, very well very, very recently. In the past couple of years, he didn't play a lot of games, or in the past, 3 years ago, he didn't play a lot of games, right? He had some health issues, but since then, he has played fairly consistently the past two seasons. He really has. And in those games he's played, he's done remarkably well. And that is what he brings to this team. Last year in the playoffs, not having that primary alpha scorer out there, besides maybe game 2 when Jalen Green went off for 38 points. Not having that out there was the reason why we lost, quite frankly. It was the reason why we lost. Jalen Green failed to show out in those playoff games. And the 6 games of those series, Green never exceeded 12 points or 40% shooting. Houston lost 4 of those 6, including a season-ending loss in a winner-take-all Game 7 at home. And so this is what the difference is with having Kevin Durant. DJ Siddiqui with RG asked Shaq, he was like, hey, does bringing in KD, does it help that? Does it make them a deeper, more of a threat to have a deeper run in the playoffs? And Shaq responded pretty simply, right? As only Shaq could respond. He said, yes. Didn't even look at the camera. Didn't even do anything. Staring off the distance because he knows it's obvious. Kevin Durant, over 170 games of playoff experience. He is going to help them out. That is the reason why you traded for him. You know for a fact adding KD to your team is what's going to get you over the hump. If it doesn't, then what a waste of a trade, right? Like that means it wasn't worth it. But everyone knows that that is very, very possible when you have Kevin Durant. That is why he's here. He is here to get us over that hump. Now, James Piercy, Houston Rockets writer, also wants to point out this one very key concept. The cold hard Kevin Durant truth that Rockets must accept, right? Rockets fans, Rockets players, Rockets franchise, whatever you are. Here's one thing, and it's something that we all have known in terms of, trading for KD. It was a thing prevailing around a lot of people's minds to the point where some people were saying, hey, I don't want KD on the team. And it was for this simple reason, right? It's undeniable. Durant is a senior in NBA terms. Durant has played an average of 54.8 games per season over the last 5 NBA seasons. It's very, very likely he will miss time. That's 54 games per season on average. So he's missing I can't even do math. 64, 74, 28 games. 28 games next season, on average, is what Durant is expected to miss, just based off the past 5 seasons. I'm not telling you he's going to miss 28 games. I'm not saying he will do more or less. I'm just saying that has been the average. That is something that should be expected, right? If it's less than that, fantastic, right? Durant's playing on a very good team. Of course, he's going to play, get that chemistry. He's new to the team. But at the same time, injuries do happen. And quite frankly, some even go as far as to say he's injury prone, right? He's going to miss those 25 games. Can the Rockets withstand that? And it's a very valid question, as Dave Dufour from The Athletic points out, right? One of the good things about Jalen Green, and there's a lot of good things about Jalen Green, right? He's very offensively talented. He was our leading scorer last year. Shaq said it himself. He kind of carried this offense last season. And one of the best things about Jalen Green was that he was available. Jalen Green was one of the most consistently available players in the NBA last season. And he only missed 21 games across his 4 NBA seasons with the Houston Rockets, and 15 of those were his rookie year. So from year 2 to year 4, he only missed 6 games. Last year, I don't even think he missed a game. I think he even played when everyone was kind of sitting out, getting ready to gear up for the playoffs. Jalen Green was available, right? He was there playing every single day, getting better every single day. Now, one of the questions is, okay, how is that going to affect the Rockets next season? Okay, you take away one of your most available pieces and you replace him with someone who's better, right? Better talented, better, more gifted, more experienced, but you do give up that availability factor. 20, 25 games that Kevin Durant will miss next year. How is that going to affect seeding? How is that going to affect team chemistry? These are very valid questions to ask when considering, how good this Rockets team can be. When everyone plays, by goodness, this team is loaded, it is stacked, it is ready to go. But of course, as any NBA team has, injuries happen. They happen, and Kevin Durant is someone who is probably going to sit out a hefty amount of these games. And so how is this team going to adapt to that? You still have Ime Udoka, who is still one of the best head coaches in the NBA. He's able to adapt to a lot of situations. He was able to do it last year when, Jabari Smith Jr. got hurt, or when VanVleet got hurt. He ended up saying, hey, Amen Thompson, you're going to start. Amen Thompson ended up going off, became one of the best second-year players in NBA history. And so there's a lot of things to do with that. There's a lot of adaptability that this team is going to have to make. But that is one of the key things to just watch out for. It's something to expect. It's not something that's going to shock us, right? I'm sure the front office made this straight, knowing like, hey, he's Year 18, guys. He is going into year 18. He's 37, 36, however old he is. He's an older gentleman. Let's just put it that way. He's going to miss time. How is that going to affect the Houston Rockets? If you ask me, I don't think it'll affect them in a capacity of losing, not making the playoffs, or I feel like this team is more than good enough to make the playoffs. I don't expect them to fall lower than a 4 seed next year. The Western Conference will no doubt be competitive, but I do not see them dropping below 4. Even with KD missing 25 games, this team is solid, right? I think this team has what it takes to be one of the best teams without KD. But the fact that you have KD on there, I'm expecting a second seed again, around second seed, first seed for this team with KD playing all of these games. And so it's just one of those key questions. So I want you guys to let me know in the comments, how many games do you guys think Kevin Durant will miss next season? If you have any thoughts or opinions about whether or not that's going to drastically affect this team, if this was a reason why you didn't want him drafted or traded here in the first place, let me know in the comments. How much of an effect do you think those games will have on this team overall? Go ahead, let me know in the comments. And with that, that wraps up this episode of Rockets Digest. I've been your host, Donovan Ricondo. Again, if you have not yet hit that subscribe button, do so now if you want to stay up to date on updates like this. We'll see you on the next one. Take care.